Hello, everybody. It's Warren and Julie, and we're back with our favorite Serbian attorney today, Nemanja, and he has done several videos with us over the last several years discussing how you can get residency in Serbia, be in Europe, use this as your home base or your place to live in a very safe country that is very affordable. And so Nemanja is going to give us the ins and outs. He's in Novi Sad, Serbia, a city, if you have not been there, is one of our favorites. So you should check that out if you're going to Serbia, and that's where he's based. So Nemanja, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me here. So yes, to start with what you kicked off with, yeah, this is a very safe country still. I want to address just for a brief moment. There's been all kinds of news and videos on YouTube over some kind of happening in Serbia, something like protests. That's all gone now. It's just calming down. Nothing's changed. It's just like it used to be. There were some demands, but that's all being sorted out. So to put that out of the way, we can just discuss the updates from the last year, or from the last summer, to be more precise. And the government has opened up a little bit more than it was. But again, they added some steps in the procedure, which I think your viewers should be aware of when planning to relocate or just visit, or maybe even pursue citizenship and so on. So let's start with the changes, because let's say your viewers are trying to get residency in Serbia. And it used to be just choose legal basis and just follow the straightforward line. And that's it. No changes, nothing. You have to stay here for 3 or 5 years and then decide if you're going to stay here permanently or not. However, now you're going to get 3 years residence permit that started last February, but it was uncertain how, and it was not yet determined the entire procedure. Nothing was, worked out in the rule books and so on. They just amended the law, and that was it. So I owed you all of these changes, which are now completely, solid. So you are choosing your legal basis, and the most popular two, which we should discuss, is either employment or self-employment, which is most interested for those digital nomads coming here, working online, and just exploring the country or the entire region. And of course, property ownership, which is for the other 50% of the clients that are coming here, mostly people who just want to retire and have a basis here and just explore out Europe or Asia and so on, because this is in the doorstep of either of the continents. So for digital nomads, the only thing you have to do as a digital nomad is just arrive here and set up, register yourself as a freelancer and start working. Right away, you're eligible to apply for residence permit. Now, it used to be that you get 1 year and you just keep extending this until you reach 5 years. They shortened that to 3 years, and they even more shortened it in terms of procedure, because at once you get the 3 years that you need for residence permit, and you just have to be here for a total of 26 months within those 3 years in order to get permanent residency. That was not the case last year. It was actually very unclear. Do you have to stay 6 months each of the year, or was there any other decision? Yes, there was this 26 months, but it was nowhere published. Now it is, and it's making everything much more easier for everyone. Those people who are experimenting are now more flexible. Those people who are waiting for permanent residency will get it much easier. They don't have to be extra careful with every year and counting days and so on. Even if you don't really get the 26 months sharp, they're still going to allow you. If you're missing 15 days, 30 days, they're still going to let you apply. So in most cases, I can not guarantee, but in each case, we just estimate it and we cover it with a piece of paper, and that's it. So we make it.
Let me interject to make sure I understand clearly. So you've got a 3-year process now, and you're allowed to leave for 10 months out of that 36 months then. So
Yes.
If you divided that up, that's 3 months a year. However, it's not an, is it going to be annually that you have to renew so that you do each year individually, or you just do the 3 year one go?
Yeah, you apply and you get 3 years, no renewals, nothing. You're good to go. You get an ID card, contrary to what was last year, the sticker in your passport. Now you get a plastic ID. And with this, you do everything. You're no longer in need to carry the passport everywhere you go. Nothing needs to be renewed until these 3 year expire. And then you are offered a choice, either renew another 3 years or go and apply for permanent residency, and of course then get a new ID card. That's it.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, that is a pretty good option, because when you're having an account each year to figure out, okay, I've got 90 days, but you can, in a way, I kind of look at this as you're banking towards the future. You don't need to work or don't need to leave for 90 days or whatever it would be.
Right. And what is the criteria to get the digital nomad visa, or just, come into the country and stay for that 36 months?
And I guess we should be clear, it's not a digital nomad visa. It's kind of a freelancer working visa.
Yes, but sometimes they call it like that, the digital nomad visa. And the reason for that is because there is no criteria other than getting yourself registered as a freelancer. You don't have to show anything more. You don't have to show income or a business plan or anything else. They're not, the government doesn't care what actually is that you do, or how long have you been doing it, so on. Just register yourself, and that takes about 2 or 3 days. And right away, you are eligible to apply for the residence permit. That's all. So pretty much by being a freelancer or owner or operator of any kind of online business, or you can do something locally, doesn't matter. That's it. That's all you have to. It's a matter of declaring it. Registering it, it's fairly easy. It takes €15 to be registered, and that's pretty much it. We've discussed some of the taxes options in other videos. I can run through those if you want, but that remained exactly as it was. Nothing.
Yeah, I would like you to just touch quickly on the taxes, because let's say Julie and I decide, hey, we do our little YouTube thing, we make some money from it. We're going to come and say we're freelancers in Serbia, and we get residency there. We can be there for 3 years, and then if all goes well, get another form of residency and even get citizenship, if I recall correctly. But we can go and set up our business, and you say there's no income requirement. So how do the taxes come from us, and do we have to show that we can sustain ourselves with a bank account or some sort of funds?
Okay, that's a good question. Yes, it is. It's actually beautiful. They do not require you to prove that you will be able to sustain yourself with actual stable income. They're actually requiring you to open a bank account in Serbia before actually applying, which is now fairly easy. Some of the banks do it within an hour, like it used to be pre-COVID. And you deposit some funds there, usually about 1,500, 2,000 euro, dollars, doesn't matter. And you show that you have this on your bank account. You can, of course, spend this money the very next day. The only thing that they're requiring so far is this balance confirmation from your bank account, Serbian bank account. That's it. That's all. Let's say you are getting employed, which is not related to this, but I just want to give you perspective. So if you're getting employed, the only thing necessary would be the contract, the employment contract showing you will be paid. But for freelancers, there is no contract. There is maybe some project you're working on, something like that. You can show that. That's fine. But you don't have to disclose all of these things to the government, to the tax office. Just deposit some funds, take it the next day, and that's it. That's all. That's really all to it. And you asked me about the taxes. So it's 10%, 10% of your earnings. We used to discuss before the flat rate, and that was the most favorable option before. But now the flat rates are so high up, unless you're making about 3,500, 4,000 euro a month, it makes no sense to choose the flat rate, because for some consultants, IT consultants, let's say graphic designers, so on, it's about 400 euro a month. That's taxes and all the social contributions. So You do have a public healthcare, but you are paying 400 a month for all of that. So unless you're making 4,000, making this effectively 10%, it makes no sense.
Okay, but
so
actually this sounds like a really great deal. So if you had somebody that's making 10,000 a month and wanted to come there, are you saying that they just pay 400 euro a month in tax?
Yeah.
So it's really, it's a 4% tax if you're making 10,000.
True. But there is one more thing that you have to consider. There is a 6 million dinar or 52,000 euro threshold, which you should not go over, because after that, the tax will automatically be 15% from your earnings. Okay. So up to 52,000 a year is something that will allow you to be in this flat rate. But, with a good accountant, you can easily just keep yourself under this while still making a lot more. And it's all legal. I'm not discussing like evading taxes. I'm just saying there are so many legal ways to just declare money on different ways and just keep yourself safe and pay effectively what you said, 2, 3, 4, 5% taxes.
So is 15% the highest threshold though?
No, if you go into VAT, then it's 20%, but that's it. That's the highest it can go, 20%. And by entering the VAT system or VAT, at 20%, but still you can manipulate the system to an extent. Declare much of your spendings as company spendings and so on, like anywhere else. It's like your viewers will find everything as they would expect it to be if they're coming from EU or US. The only thing is it's a little bit more relaxed when it comes to taxes than in the US. You don't get any penalties. They actually email you, call you a number of times to get affairs in order before they actually, make a move or inspection or something like that. So they are very forgiving. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're there for 183 days, you become a tax resident. That's how it is in most countries.
Yes.
So if you're a tax resident there, are you aware of any taxes on, say, retirement? Because we have people that are retired, want to retire with their retirement funds, their Social Security from the U.S., which is a U.S. Retirement program, or they've got their savings accounts that are in earmarked retirement accounts. Are those going to be taxed in Serbia?
Yeah, we get that question a lot. No. The pension that people are receiving in their countries, their original countries, are landing on their personal accounts. And when you move these funds to Serbia, it's automatically being labeled as moving your savings, which there are. If you're not spending it here, it's savings. So it's money already taxed. It's not an active income from work. So pretty much you can spend it using your cards or just relocate the funds here to a Serbian account. It will originate from your account in, let's say, US, coming to Serbia. The only thing you will pay is bank commission, and that's it. No one will call you. No one will demand that you explain it. Nothing. Same goes if you're making some money as digital nomad, as a freelancer. You're making some money in the US. And the money lands on your US account. And after you pay all of your US taxes, the money just remains on your account as your savings. It's not a savings account. It's just an account, and that's it. And you move it to your Serbian account. That's it. If your client would pay you directly to Serbia, then you would pay here and in the US, because we do not have the double taxation treaty. But if you let them on your account there and just move it here, that's it.
Okay, so you only risk being taxed if you say to the government in the United States, hey, I want to move my retirement deposit to a Serbian bank and have an automatic deposit made.
Not even then. Even if you are moving your pension payments to Serbia, the only thing you would have to do is, without social services, declare what it is and show proof what it is. Basically, you're explaining to our guys that this is not income, this is pension. And they would just leave it be. They would still not tax you, but you would be obligated to pretty much prove everything. And it takes a few days and few visits to the PIO fund, and that's it. So they would do this. But if you're, let's say, from England, we have a treaty with them. pretty much everything goes automatically. You just tell them to wire it here, and all of your healthcare is actually recognized here. So pretty much some countries have this, and the list is available online. We have it on our website even. So for some people who are considering Serbia and wanted to retire, they can email you or me or go through our website or just ask Google, and they would know. If this is the case, the only thing required is to establish a legal basis here, because retirement itself is not a legal basis. And we got a few of those questions. So you would still have to attach or get some connection to the Serbian state, buy property or register yourself as a freelancer or something like that, just to get a legal basis. And after that, we can either keep it dormant or buy something and just live here.
We've now talked about freelancers. Let's talk about property owners or property ownership. And can you buy land as a foreigner? Can you buy a property as a foreigner? I think that'll be very interesting to people.
Of course, yes. As I said in the beginning, we have about 50% going with the property ownership this year. It used to be much less, but this year is building up. So yes, the short answer is yes, you can buy. The only thing is you can buy residential property and just have it attached to your name. If you're buying commercial property, it has to be owned by a Serbian company. So some investment, it has to go through a company. The only thing you cannot buy to your name as property is agricultural land. And this is important because if you're going in a countryside and you're buying a house, most likely the rest of the property is going to be a field or something like that, vineyard, doesn't matter. And then you have to repurpose it. And if you're repurposing it, then you have to hold it temporarily through a company until you change the nature of the land and get all the permits necessary. It takes about 6 months, but a lot of people are doing it. We can discuss that. I can go through in details, but in short, it's opening a company, buy the property as a loan to the company, finish all the legal work, and request the loan back from the company. Of course, you sign it off. It comes back tax-free because it's a loan. You liquidate the company and you're all set. And it takes about 6 to 8 months to have this done. That's it. That's all there is to it. You can buy with this formula pretty much anything. And we've done it, I don't know, God knows how many times. It worked every time with no inspections, regardless of what you may read or hear on some videos that this is impossible. Like it's all there. It's all there. It's even in multiple government texts. When you go to welcome-to-serbia.org.rs, you can find all of that there. It's right in their face. So the only thing you cannot do is just head and buy, because a lot of people get trapped. They buy something, it's not legalized, and then they have a nightmare here in the office, working around, just trying to,
I think we have a friend that you had been assisting with something in this area before too. So we do know that legalization is a thing, and it's also something that happens in the Balkans as well. So it's always good to do the homework on the
due diligence.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We offer our clients, like, if they declare, like, I'm going to do the property thing, we tell them, like, take your time. You have 90 days to find something. Even on the last week of those 90 days, we can still make and apply for residence permit. As soon as they apply, they're in the clear. They don't have to leave the country. And what we do is, like, just send me the address of the property or a parcel number, whatever you have. We check it within 5 minutes. You're in the clear should you buy it or not. And that's it. That's all there is to it. But it's all in Cyrillic. It's all in Serbian language. So I understand for English speakers, it's a challenge. So best to just check either with the agent, realtor, or with a lawyer. And that's all I have to say for purchasing the property. If you're buying an apartment, just go with it. It's fine. It's already done. And
that will help you to achieve your residency by being a property owner. Let's talk about the medical in Serbia. So first off, I know that Belgrade's got some very good hospitals. I think Novi Sad's got a decent hospital system there. So in the larger cities, if you're going to be in Novi Sad, if you're going to be in Belgrade, maybe Niš, there's medical facilities that are going to be pretty high quality. And so if you're coming over and you're concerned, those are probably the areas to look at living if you want to be near first-rate medical health systems. But let's talk about the coverage there. Do they need private insurance that they can purchase through me? Or is there a program that they have for the government that's sponsored?
Yeah, I was about to say that. So let's start from the ending. Yes, there is a public coverage, but if you're a property owner, there is nothing. You're not contributing to the system, so you have to buy one. And I was about to say, yeah, you are selling pretty good packages. So most of people should consider those. Just buy private, and find a plan that suits your needs, and just use that. Those will be accepted in all of the public hospitals, which are actually pretty good. You mentioned Belgrade. Yes, most of those are renewed, completely renovated. Novi Sad has 2 brand new built hospitals and a large clinical center with all of the cutting edge equipment and everything else. So yeah, those policies will be accepted here. If you're a freelancer and paying the tax, you will get public insurance, but this public insurance, when your owner operator, has its limits. So I would also suggest to these people, like, yes, you are covered with public, but also try to get a premium policy, because you never know, and this might save you a ton of money. So for regular stuff, yes, the public will cover it completely free, sure. But if something, God forbid, happen, an injury or something like that, best to have a backup, because it's not all black and white. You are universally covered here by the government, but then you run into something and they tell you, like, you still have to pay. You don't pay the full price, but you pay like 50, 60%. And if you have a premium plan that is already paid private, it's all going to be covered, and then you're good to go. Like, we had some client, his wife was going in labor, giving a birth, and it was all covered. And then they met them with a 3,000 euro bill, which would be easily avoided if they had insurance. So, they had to pay it. That was it. So the labor itself was covered by the healthcare, but the stay in the maternity hospital was not. Now you see what it is. So you are, but, kind of. So yeah, you should always consider that one. Of course, if you're going through property ownership, then you definitely need one. You can be easily tricked as foreigner in the country. You can buy €100 insurance. It's going to cover nothing. Like, it's going to cover a basic exam saying, oh, you broke your arm, but that was already obvious. So if you're going to have treatment, you got to pay for it. So yeah, definitely.
So Julie and I, for example, we have kind of what we call a cover your ass policy. Okay, to make it simple, we intend to pay for a lot of the outpatient stuff out of pocket when we're going to see a doctor or doing the typical routine things, because a lot of places we go is very affordable. Serbia, that's going to be very affordable, but it's the hospital stuff. And if something major happens, then, we want to, maybe if we have to be flown to another country to have emergency evac and hospital stay somewhere else, that's the stuff we have covered on our policy with we've got a $2,500 deductible. That's our first responsibility. Then the rest will be covered by the company. I think we spend a little over $200 a month is what it averages out to when we pay for a full year up front. But it's that extra protection. But if we were in Serbia, you've got that potential, I guess, first dollar stuff being able to be taken care of with the regular insurance that you have through the Serbian system. But if you're looking for just basically a cover your butt policy, it's not going to be super expensive. But I do know a lot of people are on tight budgets and maybe just waiting till the wheels come off the bus before they have to make a decision. And pay then versus paying ahead. So it's a personal decision, but you can always go to warrenjulietravel.com and look at our insurance tab page and the international stuff there. Of course, email me at warrenjulietravel@gmail.com. I'll be glad to look at potential fits for policies for you based on your needs. And please, we do know, or I should share, it's going to be age-based, so it's going to be more expensive for some and less expensive for others, but I'll do my best to find something that's going to fit there for you. If somebody is buying the house, do they have to do any kind of annual residency checkup? Are they still going to have the 3-year program?
Yeah, it's a 3-year program for everyone now. It's only you're not going to get 3 years only if your passport is not valid for another 3 years. They deduct whatever your passport is valid. They take out 3 months, so you have to be 3 months more valid than what you're getting. So pretty much everyone gets it. Even the students get 3 years. It's not a problem. But you don't have to renew anything. You only have to keep owning a property. So you can have multiple properties. You can switch properties. That's not a problem. They will tolerate some 30 days, 60 days in between properties. They will not take out this period from you when calculating for the permanent residence. So that's all allowed. What is not allowed is to rent this property, the only property that you have. If you have multiple, that's fine. But the one property that you're using for residence permit, you have to live there. That's the condition. And there is no minimum amount of the value of this property. It just needs to be, and this is what the law says, suitable for living. That's all. So they don't say electricity or anything else. They don't care. Suitable for living is pretty much universal. So it needs to be good enough. Let's say a family of 5 can buy a small house. They will not make you calculate the square meters or square foot of the place, but they want you all there. Now, there are some workarounds to this. You can go for a few months, rent it out, come back, live there. But there's going to be an inspection right after you get your residence permit. So the inspections for all the other legal bases is not happening anymore. Since COVID, they are just stretched thin in the immigration's office. But in the last 6 months, they're checking all the property owners. About a month after you get your ID card, someone shows up at your door, a police officer, fully uniformed, and just asks if you're here, if you're with the family members. They don't need to see all of them. They just need to see one of the guys signing off, and it's like less than 1 minute, and that's it. Very polite. Well, so that's all. That's all you have to take.
And we've looked at some properties while we've been in Serbia before, and we've looked at stuff in Zlatibor up in the mountains, which is beautiful. We've looked around Fruška Gora, the area right outside Novi Sad, and Novi Sad itself has, we really like that central area near the old town and the park and the farmers market. We've looked at the cost of some apartments there, but you can actually find some pretty affordable things there. So Nemanja, if somebody is looking for a property, can we refer them over to you to a respected realtor?
Yeah, sure, of course. We do it every day. I mean, that's not a problem. So how it works is north is more expensive. As you go south, it's less and less expensive. And I can recommend the realtors in Belgrade and here in Novi Sad, and of course the respective areas around. But as you go far south, it's a little bit of a challenge because all of those real estate agencies are small, and we don't have much contact with the sellers, just the agents. But if you really like the place and it's somewhere outside of towns, what we do is we send someone there before you actually go to buy or before you actually see the house, and try to get the seller directly, just to make your clients, your viewers, avoid all those heavy commissions from the realtors. So, it's something we do, and we check the property before actually calling anyone. So, yeah, you're pretty much being prepared to inspect the property and everything else. We can arrange that as well. Find someone to inspect it, to check if everything's solid in structure. And we do the purchase agreement, transfer of ownership, everything. So pretty much what people are getting from us from day one, like from landing in Serbia, is a package deal that covers everything. Getting you registered, getting your address registered, helping you with the banks, helping you with buying the property and everything that comes with it, and then creating your profile, applying, and so on and so on. Of course, you get them insurance, which is obligatory. You have to declare insurance when you are applying. So pretty much we're all set within a week, something like that. It's not that complicated procedure like in the UK or Canada or US when you are buying the property. It takes about a month to get everything in order. Here, if you inspect it properly and you're satisfied with the price and everything else, you can buy it in one day if you want. It's really not big of a deal.
You said something to us earlier about citizenship, a big change. What's happening on that?
Okay, yeah. So good thing you brought it up. So yeah, we used to have 3 years on residence permit, and then you apply for permanent residency, and right away you go to the citizenship. Now, even though it's not specifically written in the law, the police is sometimes demanding that you have another 3 years on the permanent residency. But I think that's just targeting Russians because there's so many of them applying. But it yet remains to be seen because we are just getting feedback. There's nowhere in the rule book about this. So people should be careful and just, if they're going to apply, just apply, not listen to those advice and something like that. And of course, this is happening because the government cut from 5 years to 3 years. And now a lot of people are eligible for citizenship. Now, the thing is, it used to be that you have to just follow the straight line to get a citizenship. If you get like a freelancer residence permit, you have to remain a freelancer the whole time required for the citizenship and not disturb the timeline without any changes, nothing. Now you can change. You can change the property. You can change to something else and still get all the time calculated in and get it for the permanent residency. And this allows a lot of people now to be more flexible. More changes are coming for the most desirable way to get citizenship, and that is the basis when the applicant is in the interest of the Republic to be awarded the citizenship. That makes no process at all. You just submit the documents, and it's called the next day citizenship for a reason. So the government just approves it because it's in their interest, and that's it. However, there's a lot of information circulating the web saying you can just invest, buy a place, like your own apartment, and present it as an investment and just get citizenship, which is not true. You're investing in your own property. It's required that you invest in the system, like open workplaces or get something that benefits the community or something like that. That's the investment. And the official threshold is 2 million euro. And you cannot find someone to just go and give out 2 million euro for nothing. They're going to open a business and at least 5 to 10 workplaces open. This will set you on a good path to get citizenship. But aside from that, if you're an expert in any area, like pharmacy or, being a doctor or being, patent holder or something like that, is already putting you on a good path to get this citizenship in the interest of the Republic. The only thing you need to do is set a meeting with the appropriate channels in the appropriate ministry and present what you have to offer and tell them, like, my interest is to stay in the country. My interest is to develop what I am doing so far. Let's say you're bringing some innovations, you're making patents, you're bringing something to the community, to the science, to education. And the minister will actually, if deemed appropriate, sign the recommendation letter for you. And you just take that along with a few other documents that you already used or did not use for the residence permit, just apply. And that's it. That's like 160 euro fee. And the ministry recommendation letter is free. They just have to see that it has value. And you don't even have to go to residence permit. You just apply for this and you get it. And you don't have to renounce any other citizenship for this. This wasn't the case before. This is new, and it's much more accessible than it is now. We have some YouTubers that got Serbian citizenship simply by promoting Serbia and promoting the immigrations in Serbia. And that's something that your viewers might consider. So it's not just the residence permit they should be after. They should think, is there anything that they can present here and just target citizenship separately? Now, there is one more good thing that is now citizenship through marriage. It does not require 5 years like it used to be. It requires 3 years like everything else, but you don't have to renounce your original citizenship. You just get Serbian one, like if you were the descendant of a Serbian national. So that actually allows a lot of people to just skip the entire residence permit if they're already married here, and just go straight to the citizenship, not renouncing their, US or UK or any other citizenship.
That's definitely a stumbling block for a lot of people to, not wanting to renounce where they came from. So
yeah, exactly. And the thing is, you don't have to actually be officially married. You can actually just declare it at the notary that you are in a long-term relationship with a Serbian national, and that it's been going on for some time now, have 2 witnesses sign it off. And then if you have 3 years, if not, wait it up a little bit more and then apply. And that's it. So it works retroactively as well. So that's something I wanted to add, contrary to what it used to be before. It used to be 5 years. It used to be a very long time to you actually get the decision that you're entered into the book of citizens. Now it's 3 to 6 months. It's nothing. So that's.
Let me ask you a question. When somebody is coming, we deal with people watching from all over the world, and most over half of our folks are from America, but they're from all over the place. Are there different stipulations at all for different regions of the world, different countries? And as far as documentation that needs to be in your hand when you arrive, do you start the process from your home country, like with a visa D, or can you just do this all when you get to Serbia?
Okay, so yes, for different countries, different regimes, but 2 different regimes stand out. The one that you can just enter the country, which is for most countries, and just go straight for the residence permit or even citizenship. And the second is, if you are from the countries that require visa D, you have to start the process in your own country, and you need to have someone that will invite you. So that's the main obstacle, having someone from the country invite you. It can be a local citizen, or it can be a person with already approved residence permit. And they invite you through appropriate channels, like if it's for business, then it's business purpose. If it's family, then it's family, and so on. And there is a waiting list depending on the country you're coming from. Like, let's say if someone's coming from India, it's going to take 4 to 6 months just waiting for visa. But if you're coming from same Indian national located in the UAE, applying through a Serbian embassy in UAE, it's going to take a month, because this embassy has less stress and they can just process it much faster. But all in all, you still need, to go through all the visa D stuff, which actually we haven't discussed, because much less desirable way of getting residence permit, much harder, and it's usually through employment. But all the investors that are actually aiming, to come from these countries, mainly China and India, are coming to Serbia through business partners who are inviting them, and then the actual business partners are contacting us to have everything ready from this end. And we have some products online that we just send, and you can do it yourself. But in reality, it takes a professional to just monitor the entire process, because from these countries, our government is extra sensitive, and they are constantly demanding more explanation, more documents, more justification why you're coming here, and everything is being monitored more closely than when you're talking about the just residence permit. And to simplify it, looking geographically, Serbia, all the countries to the west, like 99% of those do not require visa D, aside from South America. And all the countries east of Serbia are like 99% required to have visa D before entering Serbia. So to simplify.
So an American or Canadian, Australian, they can just show up with their passport and say, let's start the paperwork.
Pretty much so, yeah. The only thing is, I would say, aside from bringing your passport, if you're a freelancer, bring or make sure you have a copy of your education certificate, because that's something that's becoming an obstacle, because people don't think about it. They don't ask before they show up, and then it's very difficult to get it from someone back in the whole old country. So just passport and a diploma, like elementary, high school, university, doesn't matter. Any one of those, not all of them. And you show up here, you're all set. We can create everything else here. They buy insurance from you. They open a bank account, deposit. After that, we have everything set. Even the bank, we send someone with them.
That's great. Super. Nemanja, we're going to thank you again for doing another video with us. I don't know how many dozens of our viewers have actually now at this point gone through you. That's been going on 4+ years of our collaborating together, and he's helped out a lot of people. So we can personally vouch that we've had an unknown amount of viewers get help through Nemanja. So we highly recommend. So you can contact me. I'll forward you on over. Email me at warrenjulitravel@gmail.com. We'll get you in contact with Nemanja. Nemanja, thank you once again for spending your valuable time with us. And from us and Nemanja, thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to go to our Facebook group, Expat Slow Travel Nomad Network. We just passed 25,000 expats and slow travelers there as members. And don't forget to subscribe here. And until next time, have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Thanks, guys. Ciao.